The deep blackness of space lit up as the human ship Pathfinder tore through the fabric of reality. Alarm bells rang throughout the vessel as it emerged from hyperspace, damaged and drifting. Red emergency lights flashed across the command deck, where Captain Elijah Carter gripped his chair to steady himself. "Status report," he shouted over the noise. First Officer Natalie Wright pressed her hands against her console, eyes scanning rapidly over the data. "Jump drive is offline. Hull integrity at 67%. Life support stable but reserves at 40%. "Where are we?" Carter asked, pushing himself up. Blood trickled from a cut on his forehead. "Unknown," replied Navigation Officer Paul Bennett. His fingers moved across his screen. "No match with any charted system. We're at least 300 light-years beyond our intended destination." The crew of 23 had not expected to be here. Just 12 hours earlier, they had been conducting routine tests at Earth's first deep space research station when a cascade failure in the reactor core forced an emergency evacuation. With no time to plot a proper course, they had activated the experimental jump drive and hoped for the best. "Look at that," said communications specialist Lisa Cooper, pointing at the main view screen. Everyone on the bridge fell silent. In the distance floated a massive structure, at least 20 times larger than the biggest space station humans had ever built. It glowed with countless lights against the backdrop of an orange-red gas giant. "Are we seeing this correctly?" Carter asked. "Is that artificial?" "Yes, sir," replied Science Officer Gregory Wells. "I'm detecting power signatures, artificial gravity, and atmosphere. It's definitely built by intelligent life." Carter took a deep breath and straightened his uniform. "Well, it seems we've made first contact. Lisa, are you receiving any signals from the station?" Cooper adjusted her earpiece. "Yes, sir. Multiple frequencies, but nothing I can decode yet. The patterns suggest advanced communication, definitely not random." "Keep working on it," Carter ordered. "Ryan, can you get the jump drive back online?" Engineer Ryan Powell shook his head. "Not anytime soon, Captain. The main coils are fried, and the dimensional stabilizer is cracked. We're not jumping anywhere without major repairs." "Then we have no choice," Carter said. "We need help, and that station might be our only hope. Paul, plot a course. Slow approach, no sudden movements." As the Pathfinder moved closer to the alien station, the crew could make out more details. The structure was shaped like a massive wheel with 12 spokes connecting to a central hub. Each section glowed with different colored lights. "Captain," Cooper suddenly called out, "I'm getting something. It seems to be a standard greeting pattern, repeating mathematical sequences." "Send back the same sequence as acknowledgement," Carter ordered. Within minutes of their response, the Pathfinder was bathed in a blue scanning beam. "They're scanning us," Wells reported. "Very detailed scans penetrating all decks." "Let them look," Carter said. "We have nothing to hide." The scan ended, and a moment later, Cooper's console lit up. "I'm receiving a transmission. It contains visual data. Put it on screen," Carter ordered. The main view screen flickered and the crew gasped. A creature appeared. Vaguely humanoid but with blue-gray skin, large black eyes, and no visible mouth. It wore an ornate robe with glowing symbols. "Translating will take time," Cooper said, frantically working her controls. "But I think they're inviting us to dock. Do we have any other options?" Security Chief Alan Foster asked, his hand resting on his sidearm. Carter looked around at his crew. "We're low on supplies, unable to jump, and in unknown space. I think we need to accept their invitation." The Pathfinder was guided to a docking port on one of the station's spokes. As they approached, they could see dozens of different spacecraft attached to various ports. "Those ships are all different," Wells observed. "Different designs, different technologies. This isn't just one alien species. This appears to be some kind of hub for multiple civilizations." Once docked, a delegation prepared to disembark. Carter selected Wright, Foster, Miller, and Cooper to accompany him. "This is historic," Medical Officer Samantha Miller said as they stood by the airlock. "Humans making first contact." "Stay alert," Foster warned, checking his sidearm. "Friendly or not, we're at a disadvantage." The airlock opened to reveal a large reception area. 3 different alien species waited for them. Besides the blue-gray being from the transmission, there was a tall, thin creature with 4 arms and feathery skin, and a heavily armored being with reptilian features. Cooper's translation device finally began working, converting the strange sounds into broken English. "Welcome, travelers from unknown space," the blue-gray being seemed to say. "I am Ambassador Tellin of the Suvari Enclave. You have arrived at the Galactic Concord, where 12 civilizations maintain peaceful relations. I am Captain Elijah Carter of the Earth vessel, Pathfinder," Carter replied. "We come in peace and seek assistance for our damaged ship." The reptilian being stepped forward aggressively. "Impossible. No primitive species could develop jump technology without assistance. They must be proxies." Cooper's device translated the hostile words, causing Foster to tense. "We developed our technology independently," Carter insisted. "We had no idea other civilizations existed until now." The 4-armed being made a gesture, and floating devices moved toward the humans, surrounding them with a soft blue light. "You will be quarantined until the Concord Council determines your status," Tellin explained. "Please understand this is standard protocol for unregistered species." As they were escorted deeper into the station, Wright leaned close to Carter. "Captain, look at how the other aliens are reacting to us. Some seem afraid, others curious. But that reptilian one, Vorn," Cooper whispered, reading from her device. "They're called the Vorn Imperium. The Vorn seem hostile," Wright continued. "And there's something else. When I was near Tellin, I felt strange, like something was brushing against my mind." Carter was about to respond when alarms began blaring throughout the station. Tellin received a communication that clearly caused distress. "What is happening?" Carter asked. "Your arrival has triggered an emergency session of the Concord Council," Tellin explained. "The Aelin Collective is concerned about your presence." "Why? Would they care about us?" Carter asked. Tellin's large eyes seemed to study Carter intently. "Because according to our records, your planet was placed under quarantine 5,000 years ago, by direct order of the Aelin themselves. As armed guards surrounded them, Carter realized their simple request for help had just become much more complicated. Humanity had unknowingly stumbled into galactic politics it didn't understand, and their single damaged ship had just become the center of an interstellar crisis. The humans from the Pathfinder were separated and taken to different parts of the station. Captain Carter was escorted to a high-security level where the Concord Council would meet. First Officer Wright and Communications Specialist Cooper were brought to a communications center for questioning. The rest of the crew remained on the ship under guard. Medical Officer Samantha Miller sat in a sterile white room as alien medical staff examined her. They kept their distance using floating machines to scan her body. Miller noticed how they whispered among themselves when they thought she wasn't paying attention. "Your neural patterns are unusual," said a tall, slender alien with pale skin that seemed to shimmer. "I am Dr. Seren of the Elon Collective." Miller felt a strange pressure in her head whenever the Elon doctor spoke. It was like a soft buzzing that grew stronger when the alien looked directly at her. "What are you doing to me?" Miller asked, rubbing her temples. The Elon looked surprised. "You can feel that?" "Feel what? The pressure in my head?" "Yes, I can. Feel it." The doctor stepped back and whispered to an assistant. Miller noticed how the buzzing faded when the Elon looked away. She realized something important was happening, though she didn't understand what. In another part of the station, Intelligence Officer Vincent Hayes had been left alone in a holding room. The aliens had not searched him thoroughly, missing the small data device hidden in his boot. When no one was watching, Hayes plugged the device into a port on the wall. Earth technology shouldn't have worked with alien systems, but Engineer Powell had designed it to adapt to unknown interfaces. The device bypassed basic security and connected to the station's information network. Hayes couldn't read the alien language, but he could download data to analyze later. He quickly grabbed what looked like historical archives before disconnecting. Meanwhile, Captain Carter stood before the Concord Council. 12 representatives sat in a semicircle on raised platforms. Each alien species was physically different from the others. Some looked almost human, while others were completely foreign in appearance. "Explain how your species developed jump technology," demanded the Vorn representative, a heavily armored reptilian being. "Primitive species like yours should not have such capabilities." "We developed it independently," Carter replied. "Our lead scientist, Dr. Morgan, created the theory 5 years ago, and we've been testing it at our deep space station." "Impossible," said a floating crystalline entity. "The mathematical principles of dimensional transit are beyond developing species. You must have had help." A different alien with multiple eyes stepped forward. "There is another possibility. I have analyzed their ship's design. Their jump drive is crude and dangerous. It's possible they stumbled upon the technology by accident rather than design." Carter noticed how the Elon representative, a tall being with shimmering skin like Dr. Seren's, remained silent throughout the questioning. It simply watched him with large, unblinking eyes. Back on the Pathfinder, engineer Ryan Powell and a small team worked on repairs while under guard. The aliens had provided some basic tools but refused any significant technological help. "They're afraid of us," Powell whispered to Security Chief Foster. "Have you noticed how they keep their distance, especially those tall ones with the shiny skin?" Foster nodded. "They're called Elon. According to Cooper's translation, they're the most technologically advanced species in the Conquered. Something about us makes them nervous." Powell looked at the alien guards and then leaned closer to Foster. "I've been working on the communication system. I think I can modify it to break through whatever dampening field they have around us. We could contact the others." "Do it," Foster said. "But be careful. We need to understand what's happening here before we make any moves." In her examination room, Miller had noticed something strange. When the Elon doctor left and was replaced by a Suvari medic, the pressure in her head disappeared. But she could still sense something, a faint energy field that seemed to flow through the station. "You feel it, don't you?" the Suvari medic asked quietly. "The influence." "What influence?" Miller asked. "The Elon control field. It affects all species in the Concord to some degree, but you humans seem resistant." Miller's eyes widened. "Control field? Are you saying they're controlling people's minds?" "Not directly," the Suvari explained. "It's more subtle, influencing emotions, encouraging compliance, discouraging certain thoughts. Most species don't even realize it's happening." "Why are you telling me this?" The Suvari looked around nervously. "Because for thousands of years only my kind has been partially resistant. Now you humans appear completely immune. This changes everything." In the council chamber, the debate about humanity's fate continued. Some species wanted to destroy the Pathfinder immediately. Others wanted to study the humans. The Vorn insisted they must be weapons created by an enemy. They appeared in a restricted zone, the Vorn representative argued, near the ancient ruins. This cannot be coincidence. The Elon representative finally spoke. "We should test their resistance more thoroughly before deciding." "Resistance to what?" Carter asked. Before anyone could answer, the chamber doors burst open. A Suvari ambassador rushed in, accompanied by guards. "The human ship is transmitting. They've broken through the containment field." At that moment, Powell's modified communication system activated throughout the station. It created a brief disruption in the energy field that the Elon had maintained for centuries. For a few seconds, every being on the station experienced complete mental clarity. In the council chamber, 3 representatives suddenly stood up, their expressions changing from calm to shock and anger. "We have been influenced," shouted the representative of a species called the Novan. "The Elon have been controlling our decisions." Chaos erupted as accusations flew. Security forces rushed in, and Carter was quickly escorted out by Suvari guards. As they hurried through the corridors, the Suvari ambassador spoke urgently. "Your ship's transmission disrupted the Elon control field. Now several species realize they've been subtly manipulated for centuries. The Conquered is fracturing and war is inevitable." "We didn't mean to cause this," Carter said. "We just needed help. Your arrival was the catalyst, but this conflict has been brewing for millennia." the ambassador replied. The Elan built this Concord to maintain their dominance while appearing benevolent. Now their deception is exposed. They reached a secure area where Carter found Wright, Cooper, Miller, and Hayes waiting with Suvari guards. Captain, you won't believe what I found in their archives, Hayes said. Earth isn't unknown to them. We were visited thousands of years ago and then quarantined. Quarantined? Why? Carter asked. Because humans are naturally resistant to Elan influence, Miller explained. They feared what would happen if we ever joined the galactic community. A loud explosion shook the station. Alarm systems blared. The Vorn have attacked an Elan cruiser, the Suvari ambassador said. It has begun, a conflict that will spread across the galaxy. Carter looked at his officers. We need to get back to the Pathfinder and contact Earth. Our people need to know what's coming. As they rushed toward their ship, the captain realized that humanity's first step into the galactic community had accidentally triggered the collapse of a thousands-year-old order. Their single ship had become the spark that would ignite a galactic war. The diplomatic station shook with another explosion as Captain Carter and his officers raced back to the Pathfinder. Alarms blared, and aliens of different species ran in all directions. Some tried to reach their ships while others sought shelter. The Vorn fleet is attacking Elan positions throughout the station, said the Suvari ambassador Tellen, who guided them through service corridors. 4 species have already declared the Concord Agreement void. They reached a security checkpoint where 2 Vorn soldiers blocked their path. The reptilian aliens raised their weapons but lowered them when they saw Tellen. Ambassador, one of the Vorn said with a nod. Commander Drakvor requests the humans be brought to him immediately. We need to reach our ship, Carter insisted. Your vessel is already secured by our forces, the Vorn replied. The commander wishes to speak with you before you depart. Carter looked at his officers. They had little choice but to follow. The Vorn led them to a large command center where dozens of reptilian officers coordinated battle operations. Displays showed ships exchanging fire near the station. A large Vorn with dark red scales and numerous battle scars turned to face them. I am Commander Drakvor of the Vorn Imperium. Your arrival has changed everything, humans. We didn't intend to start a war, Carter said. This war has been brewing for centuries, Drakvor replied. The Vorn have known about Elan influence for generations, but we lacked proof and means to counter it. Your natural immunity provides both. Another explosion rocked the station, stronger than before. A Vorn officer rushed to Drakvor. Commander, the Elan have breached the central hub. They're deploying psychic amplifiers. We must move quickly, Drakvor said to the humans. The Elan will try to capture you. Your resistance to their power makes you valuable. They hurried through more corridors until they reached a docking bay where the Pathfinder was held. Engineer Powell met them at the airlock looking worried. Captain, the Vorn have installed some kind of shield generator on our hull, Powell said. They claim it will protect us from Elan weapons. It will, Drakvor assured them. And we've provided coordinates for safe harbor at our nearest outpost. Carter wasn't sure whether to trust the Vorn, but staying at the station seemed more dangerous. What's happening out there? How widespread is this conflict? The 12 species conquered is no more, Drakvor explained. 4 remain loyal to the Elan. 5 have joined our coalition. 3 claim neutrality but have requested human assistance to develop psychic shielding. Communications Officer Cooper, who had been working with her translation device, looked up in shock. I'm picking up transmissions from across the sector. This isn't just happening here. Fighting has broken out at every Concord facility. There are reports of ships engaging in at least 6 different star systems. Medical Officer Miller stepped forward. Commander, I've been studying the Elan influence. If humans are naturally resistant, perhaps we can help create protection for other species. Precisely why you are so valuable, Drakvor said. The Suvari scientists believe your neural patterns might be the key to breaking Elan control permanently. Security, Chief Foster, who had been watching the Vorn soldiers carefully, asked, And what do you want in return for your protection? Drakvor's expression was unreadable. In war, new alliances form out of necessity. We offer protection. You provide the means to shield our people from Alon control. A fair exchange. A nearby explosion cut the conversation short. Drakvor ordered his troops to their battle stations. You must leave now. The Alon will send specialized ships to capture you. The crew boarded the Pathfinder quickly. As they prepared for departure, Ambassador Tellan rushed aboard with 3 other aliens, a Suvari scientist, a representative of the bird-like Novan species, and a small gray creature Carter didn't recognize. They requested asylum, Tellan explained. They can help us understand what's happening and develop better defenses. Carter nodded. They're welcome aboard. Everyone, prepare for immediate departure. As Powell fired up the engines, Cooper worked with their new allies to establish better communication. The translation system improved rapidly with direct input from the aliens. The Conquered has maintained peace for nearly 3,000 years, the Novan representative explained once they could understand each other clearly. But that peace came at the cost of Alon manipulation. How did they control so many species? Wright asked. Their abilities are subtle, said the Suvari scientist. They don't control minds directly. They influence emotions and thoughts, making certain ideas seem more reasonable while others feel uncomfortable. Over generations, entire civilizations were guided along paths the Alon desired. The Pathfinder broke away from the station as Vorn ships provided cover. Through the view screen, they watched as parts of the once magnificent structure erupted in flames. Where are we going? Foster asked as they cleared the immediate battle zone. The Vorn provided coordinates to a safe system. Powell replied. But I'm not sure we should trust them completely. Carter agreed. Plot a course nearby, but not directly to their outpost. We need time to assess our situation. As they activated the jump drive, now partially repaired, Miller worked with the Suvari scientist in the medical bay. They had taken blood samples from the crew and were comparing them to alien physiology. I think I understand why humans are resistant, Miller said after hours of analysis. Earth's higher radiation levels and strong magnetic field created unique neural pathways in human brains. Our thought patterns are more chaotic, less predictable, which makes them impossible for the Alon to influence, the scientist agreed. We might be able to create a device that mimics these patterns, generating a protective field. Meanwhile, Intelligence Officer Hayes and Foster established a security protocol with their new allies. They were taking no chances, even with supposedly friendly aliens. This conflict has likely spread across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy by now, Tellan told them in the ship's conference room. The Alon control network extends to thousands of worlds, and we have 1 ship with 23 humans, Carter said grimly. Earth knows nothing about this war. Not for long, said the small gray alien, speaking for the first time. The Alon will seek Earth now. They must eliminate the threat you represent before more humans enter galactic affairs. The implications hit Carter hard. His crew had accidentally exposed a massive conspiracy that had lasted for millennia. Their ship had become the catalyst for a galactic war, and somewhere far away, Earth remained totally unaware of the danger now racing toward it. We need to warn our people, Carter said, and we need to find allies we can trust. The question is, Wright said quietly, can we trust anyone at all in this new reality we've stumbled into? Carter had no answer as the Pathfinder slipped into hyperspace, leaving behind the burning remnants of the Galactic Conquered and carrying the hopes of both their own species and the newly liberated aliens who had joined their cause. 6 months passed since the Pathfinder had escaped the collapsing Concord station. The human ship looked very different now. Alien technology covered its hull, with new weapons, shields, and communication systems integrated into its design. The crew had changed too. They wore modified uniforms with translation devices and protective gear provided by their allies. They had learned much about the galaxy in a short time, often through difficult lessons. Captain Carter stood on the bridge, looking at a tactical display showing the spread of the conflict. Red areas marked Alien-controlled space, while green indicated territories held by the Resistance Coalition. Yellow zones were contested, changing hands daily. The Rigelian system has fallen, First Officer Wright reported. Ilon forces deployed psychic amplifiers on the third planet. The entire population submitted within hours. Carter nodded grimly. Add it to the list. Any word from our scouts near the Suvari border? They report Ilon hunt ships moving along the outer rim, Cooper said from her communication station. They might be searching for jump points to Earth. That was Carter's greatest fear. Intelligence Officer Hayes had discovered an Ilon plan to locate Earth and sterilize it before more humans could enter the war. The thought of his homeworld, unaware and defenseless, kept him awake at night. Engineer Powell entered the bridge followed by 2 alien technicians. Captain, we've completed the modifications to the jump drive. The Novan engineers helped us increase efficiency by 30%. Will it get us home? Carter asked. Powell hesitated. Theoretically, yes, but the coordinates are still approximate. We could end up light years from Earth. It's a risk we have to take, Carter said. Our people need to be warned. Security Chief Foster, who had been coordinating with Vorn military units, joined them. The coalition forces are gathering for a major offensive in the Deneb sector. The Vorn want us to join the assault. And risk our only ship? Carter shook his head. Our priority has to be reaching Earth. Medical Officer Miller arrived with their Suvari science advisor. Captain, we've made a breakthrough with the neural shield technology. The prototype works on all tested species, though the effect is temporary. This was the most valuable contribution the humans had made to the resistance effort. Miller's work on understanding why humans were immune to alien influence had led to devices that could temporarily shield other species. Alliance ships now carried these devices, allowing them to fight without fear of psychic manipulation. Carter called his officers to the conference room. The alien representatives joined them. For hours, they debated their next move. The coalition wanted the Pathfinder to stay and continue developing better protection against Alon control, but Carter and his crew felt a duty to warn Earth. We'll make the jump tomorrow, Carter finally decided. But first we need to break through the Elon blockade in this sector. The Pathfinder joined a Vorn battle group preparing to attack an Alon stronghold. The plan was simple: create enough chaos for the human ship to slip away and make its jump. As they approached the battle zone, Cooper suddenly called out, "Captain, I'm detecting an unusual signal. I think it's using Earth communication protocols." "What?" "That's impossible," Carter said. "No, she's right," Wright confirmed, checking her own instruments. "It's definitely a human signature." "Put it on." "Speakers," Carter ordered. A voice crackled through the bridge. "To any coalition vessels, this is Captain Amanda Russell of the Earth vessel Dauntless. We are under attack by unknown hostiles and request immediate assistance." The crew fell silent in shock. Another human ship? Here, in the middle of a war zone? "Verify that signal," Carter ordered. This could be an Alon trap. But the verification came back positive. The transmission used Earth military codes that the Elon couldn't possibly know. "Plot an intercept course," Carter ordered, "and tell the Vorn to give us cover." The Pathfinder broke from the battle group and raced toward the source of the transmission. They found a large, sleek vessel, clearly of Earth design but more advanced than the Pathfinder, exchanging fire with 2 Alon cruisers. "Open a channel," Carter said. "Dauntless, this is Captain Elijah Carter of the Earth vessel Pathfinder. We're moving to assist you." The Pathfinder, with its alien-enhanced weapons, joined the battle. Together, the 2 human ships drove off the alien attackers. Later, in the Pathfinder's docking bay, Carter and his officers met Captain Russell and her senior staff. The contrast was striking. Russell's crew wore crisp new uniforms, while Carter's team looked like a mix of human and alien styles. "We've been searching for you for months," Russell explained. "After the research station detected your jump signature, Earth realized you might have survived. The Dauntless was sent to find you once our own jump technology was perfected." "Earth knows about the war?" Carter asked. "Not the full extent," Russell replied. "We had no idea what we were jumping into. Our mission was simply to locate the Pathfinder and bring you home. How many ships does Earth have with jump capability? Wright asked. The Dauntless is the first of 6. 2 more are nearly complete. Carter felt a surge of hope. Earth wasn't as defenseless as he had feared. We need to return immediately. The Elan will target Earth once they realize more humans are entering the conflict. Russell nodded. My ship has better jump coordinates than yours. We can make it back in 3 jumps. We can't leave yet, Miller protested. The neural shield technology isn't perfected. The Coalition needs us. We'll take the research with us, Carter decided. Earth scientists can continue the work. With more human minds on the problem, we might find a permanent solution faster. The alien representatives were reluctant to see the humans leave, but understood the importance of warning Earth. Ambassador Tellen spoke for the Coalition. Your people must prepare for what's coming. This war will reach your world whether you wish it or not. As the crews of both ships prepared for departure, Intelligence Officer Hayes made a troubling discovery. Captain, I've been analyzing the Dauntless's flight data. According to their logs, they didn't just jump to this location, they made stops at 3 other systems first. What's significant about that? Carter asked. Each of those systems has reported new conflicts between Elan forces and local species. I think the mere presence of human ships is disrupting Elan control networks wherever they go. Carter realized the implications. Even as they tried to escape the war, humans were spreading it further. Their natural resistance to Elan influence was like a contagion to the carefully balanced system of control that had maintained the false peace for millennia. As the Pathfinder and Dauntless prepared to jump together, a message arrived from Vorn Command. 3 more human vessels have been detected entering the galaxy at different points. Each has triggered new uprisings. Carter looked at Russell. How is that possible? You said Earth only had 2 ships ready besides the Dauntless. Those aren't ours, Russell said, her expression grave. Someone else is building jump ships. The mystery of these new human vessels would have to wait. As both ships activated their jump drives, Carter knew that humanity's accidental entrance into galactic affairs had passed a point of no return. What had begun with a single ship making an emergency jump had evolved into a conflict that would reshape the fate of thousands of worlds. The Pathfinder and Dauntless dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. After 3 jumps and nearly 2 weeks of travel, they had finally made it home. Earth glowed blue and green in the distance, a sight that brought tears to the eyes of many crew members. No signs of Elan activity in the system, reported Officer Wright from her scanner station. We made it back before them. Captain Carter felt relief wash over him. Open a channel to Earth Defense Command. They need to know what's coming. Communications Officer Cooper worked her console. Channel open, sir. Earth Defense, this is Captain Elijah Carter of the Pathfinder, accompanied by the Dauntless. We have critical information about an interstellar threat. Request immediate meeting with military command. The response was immediate. Earth had been waiting for news since the Dauntless launched its search mission. Within hours, both ships were in orbit, and the captains were shuttled to the planet's surface for an emergency council with world leaders. Captain Carter, along with Captain Russell, stood before representatives from every major nation. Their alien guests, Ambassador Tellen, the Suveri scientist, and the Novan representative, caused a stir among the Earth officials. We have very little time, Carter began. A galactic power known as the Elan Collective will target Earth soon. They see humanity as a threat to their control of thousands of worlds. He explained everything: the Concord, the Elan's psychic influence, the Resistance Coalition, and how humanity's natural immunity had triggered a war spanning 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. This sounds like science fiction, said one skeptical general. Medical Officer Miller stepped forward with the Suveri scientist. It's not fiction. We've developed technology that proves the Elan influence exists. We can demonstrate it now. They activated a small device that created a field throughout the room. Many of the Earth officials gasped as they briefly felt the absence of something they hadn't known was there. A subtle pressure that had been present in their minds whenever they were near the Elan representatives who had secretly visited Earth over the years. We've had Alon observers on Earth, Miller explained. According to the Concord records, they've been monitoring us for centuries. This revelation changed everything. Earth's leaders quickly authorized a global defense initiative. The remaining jump ships were rushed to completion, and production began on Miller's neural shield devices. Meanwhile, Engineer Powell worked with Earth scientists to enhance the jump technology. The Alon will attack with overwhelming force, he warned. Our best advantage is mobility. Security Chief Foster trained Earth military forces in fighting tactics effective against Alon technology. Their weapons target neural pathways, he explained during a demonstration. Standard armor won't help. You need these shield generators. Intelligence Officer Hayes coordinated with Earth intelligence agencies, sharing all the data he had collected about Alon weaknesses. They rely heavily on their psychic abilities, he told the assembled analysts. When those fail, they become disorganized. 3 weeks after their return, orbital sensors detected multiple ships entering the outer solar system. The Alon had found Earth. 7 battlecruisers, Wright reported from the command center established beneath the North American continent. Larger than anything we faced before. They're not taking chances, Captain Russell said. They've sent a full extermination fleet. Carter had expected this. Launch all ships, execute plan scatter. Earth's newly completed jump vessels, now numbering 8 including the Pathfinder and Dauntless, launched from hidden bases around the planet. Each carried neural shield generators and was crewed by a mix of experienced veterans and fresh recruits. The Alon fleet approached Earth with overwhelming firepower, but as they moved to surround the planet, the human ships executed a series of coordinated jumps, appearing behind the Alon vessels and attacking, before jumping away again. They can't predict our jump points, Cooper said excitedly as the Pathfinder emerged from its 3rd attack run. The chaotic nature of human thought extends to our jump calculations. This advantage kept the Earth fleet alive against the superior Alon ships. But the Alon still pushed toward Earth, determined to complete their mission. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. The Suveri scientist, working with Miller and Earth physicists, discovered that the human jump drives created a unique energy field that disrupted Alon psychic networks. If we modify the drives to project this field, Miller explained during a hasty briefing, we can create dead zones in their communication network. How close would we need to get? Carter asked. Very close, the scientist replied. Inside their command ship's defense perimeter. Carter knew it was their only chance. He called for volunteers for a strike mission against the Alon flagship. Every crew member stepped forward. The final battle took place in Earth orbit. 6 human ships engaged the Alon fleet, drawing their attention while the Pathfinder, with its enhanced jump drive, prepared for a precision jump directly alongside the Alon command ship. All hands brace for emergency jump, Carter announced as Engineer Powell activated the modified drive. The Pathfinder appeared just 100 meters from the massive Alon vessel. Immediately, Powell activated the disruption field at maximum power. The effect rippled through the entire Alon fleet. Their coordinated attack faltered as ship after ship lost connection to the command network. It's working, Wright shouted as the Alon ships began to drift out of formation. The Earth vessels pressed their advantage, concentrating fire on the disoriented enemy. 2 Alon ships collided in the confusion. Another veered into Earth's atmosphere and broke apart. But the Alon flagship recovered quickly. It turned its main weapons on the Pathfinder, which took heavy damage. We can't take another hit like that, Foster reported as systems failed across the ship. We don't need to, Miller said. Look at their energy readings. The disruption field had done more than interrupt communications. It had revealed something unexpected about the Alon command ship. It wasn't fully under Alon control. The energy pattern suggested another intelligence was operating behind the scenes. It's an artificial system, Hayes realized, analyzing the data. The Alon themselves are being controlled by something else. Carter made a decision. Powell, can you modify our signal to target that artificial system directly? I think so, the engineer replied. But we'll need to get even closer. The Pathfinder, though damaged, made one final jump, directly into the path of the Alon flagship. As the enemy weapons locked on, Powell activated the modified disruption field. The effect was immediate and stunning. The artificial intelligence controlling the Elon network experienced a cascade failure as it encountered human thought patterns it couldn't process. Throughout the fleet, Elon crew members suddenly found themselves free of the influence that had guided their species for thousands of years. The battle ended not with destruction, but with confusion and then communication. The Elon, now free from the AI's control, opened discussions with Earth and the coalition forces. In the weeks that followed, the truth emerged. The Elon themselves had been the first victims of an ancient control system created by a long-extinct species. This AI had been guiding what it called the controlled evolution of galactic civilization for millennia, using the psychically gifted Elon as its primary tools. On the observation deck of the repaired Pathfinder, Captain Carter stood with his officers watching Earth below. Ambassador Tellin joined them. "A new alliance is forming," the Suvari said. "One based on cooperation rather than control. Your world will have a central role." Carter nodded. "All because of an accident. One damaged. Ship making an emergency jump." "Sometimes the greatest changes come from the smallest beginnings," Tellin replied. "One ship, one crew, one chance encounter that revealed the truth to an entire galaxy." As representatives from 20 species gathered on Earth to form the new alliance, the crew of the Pathfinder watched with pride. Their accidental journey had freed countless worlds from hidden control and opened humanity's path to the stars.